Hi everyone, a very good evening. So it's February 3rd, 2025, 5:32 p.m. After uploading yesterday's video, honestly, I did not think that I would come so soon again and will be uploading another one. But something happened and I couldn't resist myself but to just to talk and to express. So my grandmother's real sister, younger sister, passed away today morning, and it was classic case of old age as well as brain hemorrhage, and like brain hemorrhage was the trigger, and that got triggered because of old age. She was in her late 80s, but despite the age, despite rationalizing it, despite knowing that it would come, each time when the death comes, it brings a different sort of grief with itself, even if you've experienced this phase numerous times before. You know the futility of life. You have experienced the pointlessness as such, which we all like. What are we running behind? We all know all this stuff. It keeps coming, everyone keeps saying. But no matter how many scriptures you read, how much you meditate, how much you try to understand what is life, what is the meaning of life, each time there is a cessation of life, it hits you more than the birth of a new life, if I may say. And it also hits you again, got me to thinking, is purely because of the attachment you're carrying around. Despite having experienced so much of sorrow, today I won't say sorrow, back then I would say it was sorrow, but today I know it was nothing but the breaking of attachment and the feeling of clinginess which was going apart when I had lost quite a few loved ones in my life. But again, you will feel those emotions when you are in this human form. No matter how much you know, doesn't mean that emotions won't come up again. Doesn't mean you won't be impacted again. And even if they come, they may not come on day one, they may come on day 10, they may come after a month. But however, and in whatever way, you realize that, which I was talking yesterday also in my videos, the nothingness or the shunyata, or what we say, when there is no senses around, is actually the reality. And then it makes you question yourself as well as people around us who are so engrossed in the illusion that they don't know that they are in illusion. There are tears, there is sorrow, there is so much of melancholy, if I may say, all around. And then, in an attempt to even explain it to the others who are left behind, your thought system or oneself is challenged if you're not abiding by the rules of that illusion. You know? And also, just a small disclaimer, pardon me if there are any background noises with there's my clock, there's some construction in the neighborhood, so just pardon me for that. So now I was coming from the hospital only right now, and that's what it made me really think on the way. Is death actually a myth, or it's actually the reality which we don't know? Like, we all know we'll die, we all know when, what not the person thinks. We all have our ambitions. Sometimes we fulfill and die, sometimes we do not. So, and each time the death happens, it is a wake up call for all of us. Number one, to get humbled. And secondly, that's the time when all the preconceived notions about how quote unquote our life should be gets challenged. Like, just to quote about this grandmother of mine, like I call her Choti Jhai because Jhai is my grandma. So her grandson's wedding was coming up and they were all excited. It's next month. And then now this BAM happened. But this is what it is. Each time what a human thinks, it we all say about, of course, manifestations, human desire, and I'm not denying it's not there. It very much is there. But you cannot control the forces of the universe, and you cannot afford, at least in today's time, to get too much attached to those aspirations of yours. And that's why they say detachment is so important. But even in that detachment, do not get attached to the idea of detachment a lot. Like, I am detached, so nothing will happen to me. I am detached, so this won't happen. I am detached, so I'm not supposed to think. The key is to let the flow of things and emotions which you're experiencing just come about, you know? So, just this small, minor thing I wanted to share. The reality is death, actually. When we are kids, when we are small, we usually see our parents handling all these stuff, and we are like, ठीक है हमें तो फर्क नहीं पड़ेगा or whatsoever, we won't feel it. But until the ultimate reality hits you when you are grown up, or even if it hits you as an accident when you are still in your growing years, that is what matters. And then all your plans towards your life, towards your career, if I may say, towards the kind of life you want to spend, it all stands still. Because along with the passing of the person, it also takes away a lot of support in material form around you. And your life never stays constant. It's always varied, always. I mean, I'm quite sure you all know all this. There's nothing new I'm saying here. But I just felt like coming and exploring the topic death, tending to your emotions, also thinking about the ones who have gone away, or thinking how it would be if they were here. Is it serving any purpose? Because it's very natural for one to think. Or somewhere, of course, you also died when they went away, a part of you. You're actually putting a lot of obstacles in your own life, the way you or the way universe has planned your life for you. It's funny actually. So when a death happens, if someone is being very strong, portraying a very strong side of themselves, and then they say, generally, people say, dekho, they're so detached, they're not feeling anything. Maybe there is a whirlwind of storm going inside them. And the ones who have broken down, people sympathize with them. But then maybe it's just for that moment, and then later on, they choose to move on. But what is right and what is wrong? So, in terms of matters of death, I don't think so there's any right and wrong, any right way of grieving or any wrong way, or if one should grieve or one should not grieve. Technically, grief is also an illusion only. But then the human is so engrossed in that illusion that it takes time for one to realize that, oh, I was an illusion. Grief is an illusion. And I have been a very solid perpetrator, or no, perpetrator is the wrong word. I have been a very solid person who has kept grief so close to me, so close to me. But in reality, it is an illusion. So there's nothing to, in today's video, there's nothing to spread any knowledge or some message as such. I just came here to just express my feelings regarding this whole thing of death. Who knows where we are, when, if I'm there, if I'm not there tomorrow. But all I know is that this moment one should do what we are doing. Easier said than done. And to come to terms, to even live in the present in this very moment, for me also, it has taken a long time. Maybe someday, if it's permitted, I'll share my life story with you. I mean, no one will permit me as such if I feel like. But for now, I'll keep. And I won't say cherish the people when they are there, and we never know who goes away when, because everyone's sense of reality is true for themselves. Some wishes remain fulfilled, some don't. Unfulfilled, sorry. Some wishes remain unfulfilled, some don't. Some see even birth of their great great grandchildren, some just don't even give birth to their kids. So, life in reality is very fragile. And the day you realize it, I think so, we won't be stressing out about rest of the things a lot. Whether you've taken the world tour or you have not. Whether you've made it to the best of colleges or schools in the universe or not. You're just doing your work. And you can go anytime. So until we don't go, until we are here, it's just make the most of it without getting attached, which I keep saying again and again. And one thing for all the people, if you've seen this, who have passed, not who have, whose loved ones have gone away, please note that death is the reality, but it is not bad. It is not sorrowful or full of grief which we perceive it to be. Yes, your physical aspect sees a loss of another physical aspect. But in reality, we are all interconnected, and I'm not joking about that. Maybe soon enough, we start a series where I read something from some scriptures and explain it in my own manner, or from some book. You know, we'll see how it turns out. But up until then, just try to understand and also live life for those who are left behind. That's it. Take care. Bye.